Alright guys, welcome back to the new combo for Rikka Ragnaraika. We have the new Ragnar cards. I will show you the combo that starts with the Ragnaraika, the Evil Seed, if you want to know the basic combo with the Lokai, and also the kill combo that you do with the Sunvine Thresher. I have an entire very long combo guide on the complete Rikka engine in the top corner. It's also linked in the description below. Go check that out. That is very important, but what I will show you today is the new combo that we can do with the Ragnaraika, the Evil Seed, which in my opinion is even better than the normal seed, the Lokai. Very interesting here, and a very hard and long combo. This is a very complicated deck, so if you want to learn the entire deck, go check out the full combo video and just play this deck on ladder a bit. Also, another thing that is very important to mention here, we will talk over a deck list that has yesterday on the first day of release reached Master 1 already. I will show you the deck list afterwards. We are playing cards like Dimension Shifter, and you might be wondering how is that possible. I will explain to you when we talk about the deck list, but first let's go into the combo. And there will be some very important zone placements here, so always keep this in mind. We are going to normal summon this. You could also special summon this by discarding one insect, plant, or reptile monster. Also very nice. Activate this and we can grab two Ragnaraika cards. If you have one of these already in the hand, grab the trap. This is another interruption, but we need the spell and the other monster here. And then we need to banish one of them, which we banish the Samurai Beetle. It's okay because this spell here, and this is why we are having it, can summon back one of the banished or graveyard Ragnaraika monsters. This is what we are going to do, special back the guy, and now we have two level 2 bodies basically that you could also summon the other thing from the hand here. But now we can make the Link 2 Skeletal Soldier, very nice card that can, when it's on the field, it can also revive one of our Ragnaraika monsters. We can now, because we have used this for Link Summon, resummon this seed here, and now this, as I already said, can also resummon one of our Ragnaraika monsters. So we have 4 bodies now, very nice. And you can always, this is a nice effect, we will also use this in a second. If this card is in your graveyard, we can target one insect, reptile, or plant monster, place it on the bottom of the deck, and then a special summon it. So you can always use this, if this is in your grave on your next turn, you can always use this to get this back to the field, summon another Ragnaraika monster, and get more bodies to the field. Very important, very strong card. Now we want access to our Sunseed Genius Lokai basically, and we are accomplishing this by Aromaseraphy Jasmine. Aromaseraphy Jasmine, an important card to search other cards in this deck. We can now tribute, and this is once per turn, hard once per turn. We can tribute one card this card points to, and then can summon a plant from the deck. We are summoning our bridge monster, you could call it, the monster that can basically get you any other plant, the Lone Fire Blossom. Lone Fire Blossom can now tribute any plant monster here. We are tributing Jasmine to summon our normal starter, you could say, the Lokai. It's very important to summon Lone Fire Blossom here on the right side. Keep this in mind, always do this, otherwise you will have a problem later on. So with the Sunseed Genius Lokai, obviously we are going to make the tree, the Dryas, and because we have made this with exactly this monster here, we can now search the Sunvine Sowing, which basically extends our combo. Always keep this in mind that you can only search this if you have made the tree with the normal Sunseed Genius Lokai, exactly this card. We can now activate the Sunvine Sowing here, summoning the Sunseed Twin, and never ever summon this here because we need this zone in a second. Always keep the zone under the tree free. This is very important to remember. We have 2 trigger effects now, and we want to use Chainlink 1 here because this one can be Ghost Belt while this one can't. And this also can't be interacted with besides like an imperm, but this doesn't matter then. We want to chain block is this way. This will summon back the Sunseed Genius Lokai, and this summons another Sun Avalon monster from the extra deck. So always go 1-2 here, and this is why we need this zone, because this has to go in this zone. Take the Thresher here, we need the healers in a second for something else, and then the Sunseed Genius Lokai can be summoned here. You can activate this now to target a Sun Avalon Link monster on the field, and we gain attack. This you will need for the kill combo going second, and I also showed you the kill combo in the entire combo video. Go check that out. In this case, you don't need to activate this. Now we want access to our Rikka engine, which is why we use another Aromaseraphy Jasmine, and I will quickly explain to you how we are doing this. So what you have to understand about Aromaseraphy Jasmine is that the second effect here, once per turn, if you gain life points, add one plant monster from your deck to your hand, is not once per turn. This is only once per copy. So if I get this into the graveyard and then get another one back onto the field, or if I just get another one onto the field, I can use this once again. This here is once per copy, indicated by the fact that it says you can only use this effect of Aromaseraphy Jasmine once per turn, and this only says once per turn. So now if we gain life points, we can search something. This is what we want to accomplish here, and for that we are using this base combo of tree plus healer. You always want to make the tree with the effect monster because you need the normal monster to make the healer. So you make a tree here, and then we make the healer with the normal monster, and because we have made this healer, we can now target a Sun Avalon Link monster, the tree in this case, to gain 300 life points. This is what we're going to do, and because we have gained life points, we can search another plant monster. You're going to search Rikka Princess, which we can special summon, but we won't do this right now. The next thing we are going to do is make Sun Avalon Melias here with the Jasmine and the healer. Melias is also not once per turn, and this can always link 3, summon back our Sunseed Genius Loci normal monster from the graveyard. You can just place this. Placement is important, but you can place it here. In this moment, it doesn't really matter. Now we are activating Skeletal Soldier. I have talked about this effect already. We are placing one of our monsters on the field back on the bottom of the deck. In this case, Melias. Might be a bit strange, but you will understand why in a moment. Summoning Skeletal Soldier. And then we can activate another effect, the Sunseed Twins effect, which we can banish the Sunseed Twin. We then have to tribute one of our link monsters on the field, in this case Dryas. And now if we have 2 monsters in the graveyard with the same name, so we have 2 Aromaseraphy Jasmines, we can summon one of them. So this is what we are going to do, summon Aromaseraphy Jasmine. And as I already talked about, this effect we can trigger once again, once per turn. If you gain life points, add 1 plant monster from your deck to your hand. We can do this once again, and we will in a second. So we are going to special summon the Rikka Princess here. Now you also, in theory, have a monster negate on the field if you have another Rikka here, but in this case it doesn't matter. Now we are basically doing it once again. Always keep the zone under the tree free and make the tree with the effect monster and keep the normal monster for the healer. Just remember this, very important. Keep this zone free because we need this zone now for our second, or basically the third copy of the tree, the second copy of the healer, which is why you can't do this in the TCG. And once again we can target this tree here to gain life points, and once again this triggers to grab the Mudan, which Mudan is basically the card that you always want to grab first when it comes to the Rikka engine. Normally in this combo not, but normally because the Mudan gets you into Concon, which we already have in hand, but we are imagining we wouldn't have it, and this gets you into anything else Rikka wise. So what we are going to do next is we are going to once again use or make the Melias here with these 2, and the Melias can then once again summon to our field the Sunseed Genius Loci. Place it here, very important, we need it in this zone here. And now we are going to make the Sylvan Dance Peon with this card as well as this card. Place the Sylvan Dance Peon here so it points to these 2 monsters. Now you can activate Sylvan Dance Peon's effect to mill 1 or 3 cards from deck to the graveyard, and if you hit any plant monsters you can special summon them. Note here that it is not important to hit anything here, as we didn't, so you lose these cards. You can also opt to not activate this effect. You don't need this effect. What we need this card for is to activate it and to make the monsters it points to also level 4. You could also make them level 1, but it doesn't accomplish anything, so we are targeting the princess in the grave, and now these are level 4, very important here. What we can do next is firstly make a Bengal Lancer with this and this here. So Bengal Lancer, one of our first interruptions here on the field that can, on our opponent's turn, bounce back a monster of our opponents for us paying the attack points as life points. Very interesting to take note here. You have to target effect monsters and you have to target monsters that have at least 1 attack point, otherwise you can't activate this Bengal Lancer effect. Now we are going to make the Rikka Queen Strenna here with 2 level 4s, which is why we needed these level 4s here. Make the Rikka Queen Strenna, and now you can activate Strenna. We are detaching this Lone Fire Blossom, and now you can activate or can add anything from the graveyard to the hand back. So just grab the Lone Fire Blossom just for follow-up for the next turn. You can normal summon this, get into any other plant now. And now you want to activate Mudan, and you need to tribute 1 plant monster. It's always nice to tribute Rikka Queen Strenna to summon a Mudan or anything else, because if tributed, Strenna can activate to summon a rank 5 or higher plant XYZ monster from the extra deck. So firstly, and then attach this to as material. So we can now chain block once again, chain block the Mudan here with the Strenna, because this is not really interactable with any hand trap, whereas the Mudan can be Ash Blossomed, obviously. We are summoning the Sacred Hyper Beast, Hyperiton, doesn't really matter where, and then we can attach this Strenna to this. If you're not aware, this is now a monster negate because it has a monster under it, but in a moment it will also get a spell under it, so then it also could be a spell negate, you can decide. In this case, normally you would grab the Rikka Concon. We have it in hand already. This is what you would grab. In this case, we are just grabbing the Glamour. You will not get the Glamour normally in this combo. We have grabbed the Concon. Remember that. We are activating the Concon if you control a Rikka monster. And now we can, we can chain this because we've activated a spell card. You can choose one of your spell cards in the graveyard and attach this to the Hyperiton. This is how this becomes also a spell negate. If you would activate a trap, you could also grab a trap from the graveyard if you had one to also get this under this, and this will also be a trap negate then. But it's once per turn, right? We have to decide whether this should be a monster or a spell negate. Now, because we control Rikka monster, we can activate the Concon to set one of our Rikka cards. We are setting the Rikka sheet here. And just remember, these cards are not in our hand. We only have this for follow-up. And this is what we end up on with this one card. We have this card that is either a spell negate or a monster negate. We have the Rikka Princess in the graveyard, which is a monster negate. This shuffles itself back, negates a monster effect, and then you have to tribute a plant monster. Keep in mind that as long as Rikka Konkon is on the field, all your opponent's monsters are also plant monsters, and once per turn you can also tribute an opponent's monster for the activation of one of your tribute a plant monsters effect. So for example, if your opponent activates, I don't know, Kashtira Unicorn, effect Kashtira Unicorn. You could then go ahead and make Rikka Princess to negate the Kashtira Unicorn, and if you wanted to, you could also tribute the princess with the effect of the Konkon, right? But this is once per turn. So we have this monster spell trap negate, we have this Rikka Princess monster negate, we have this Bengalancer bounce, we have this once per turn Rikka Konkon tribute anything on your opponent's field for effect activation, and then you also have the Rikka sheet, which says target one face up monster your opponent controls. Also you can tribute one plant monster. This can also be your opponent's monster, keep this in mind because of Konkon. Players cannot activate that face of monster's effect on the field this turn. Then, if you tributed a monster when you activated this card, take control of that monster. So, one very important thing to note here is that it says the card cannot be activated this turn. So, this is not a monster negate. You have to use this before the monster would activate an effect. So, in the case of Kashtira Unicorn, you would have to use this before Unicorn can activate this effect, which means you have this little toggle bar on the right bottom here on. But this is the combo that you can achieve with Ron, Ragnaraika, the Evil Seed, as I already said. If you want to understand the full combo and also the kill combo, check out the entire combo guide. Now we will hop on over into the deck list and I will explain to you why we are running specific cards. Alright, welcome to the deck portion here. This is a list that hit a Master 1 yesterday, and you can see right here we are playing 43 cards here. Let's go over the cards. We have 3 Sunseed Genius Loci. This is one of the best normal starters, as well as your Ragnaraika the Evil Seed. We have this Gamma Driver package here. You don't need to play this. You can play this. You can also change this out for other hand wraps. Could be Effect Velas here if you wanted to. We have played 2 Rikka Petals. This is also a nice normal summon. This can get you into your Rikka engine if you only open the petal. But one thing that is very nice about this deck, it's very consistent. We have 3 Loci, we have 3 Ragnaraika the Evil Seed, we have 3 Unexpected Die. If you're not aware, this is basically also Loci. This gets you into Loci. And then we have the Lone Fire Blossom, which also can get you into Loci or the Ragnaraika the Evil Seed. So we have 10 starters in this deck that basically get you into the entire combo. So you will rarely ever only open Rikka Petal, but you can just go Rikka Petal and then go into your Rikka engine. I have shown this in the entire combo video, but what you can do here is you get Petal, then you get the Mudan, tribute the Petal, Mudan can get the field spell, and then you can, for example, just set the Rikka sheet and you have an interruption through your Rikka engine here. Basically like the end of the combo I just showed you, but without all the other stuff then. We have 3 Ragnaraika the Evil Seed, best starter in this deck at the moment. We obviously have 3 Maxi, then there's the Gamma package. You need 1 Sunseed Twin. You have seen what this does in the combo. This starts the entire Tree Dryas combo. We have 1 Lone Fire Blossom as a bridge, but also a very good starter, also a very good follow-up card. We have added this to our hand. Triple Ash Blossom, this is a no-brainer. We need this 1 Samurai Beetle for what you have just seen in the combo. 1 Rikka Princess. Remember, this is also a monster negate in the hand or in the graveyard as long as you control a Rikka monster. And the cool thing is that this shuffles itself back for monster negation, so you can just add this back in the next turn and have another monster negate. Then this might be the most strangest card in the deck. We have Dimension Shifter, but the thing is that you can actually kill under Dimension Shifter with the Sunvine Thresher, and you can also build quite an okay board under Dimension Shifter if you are going first. So if you're going second, you can just throw this, because this deck, the biggest weakness of this deck is going second, and Shifter in the current meta is very, very strong. So if you go second and just basically activate Shifter, then you can still use your kill combo that I've shown you in the combo guide with the Thresher here and kill your opponent even under Shifter, and Shifter stops a lot of decks, which is why we have this in here. And then we have the Mudan, 1 Mudan to get you into the Rikka engine here basically. We have 2 Nibiru's, could also be different cards if you wanted to. You need a 3 Unexpected Die. Then we have 2 Rikka Glamour that we have not seen in the Rikka combo, but this is basically a Rikka Search card. You can tribute a plant monster also, and then you can add 2 Rikka cards with the same level or 2 plant monsters with the same level. So if you would tribute something and then add a Rikka Petal, which is the level 1, you could also get to your Sunseed Genius Loci, which is also a level 1, or to your Ragnaraika the Evil Seed, which is also a level 1. Keep this in mind. Very good card that you can also set with your Rikka Konkon. And then we have 2 Sunvine Sowing. We sometimes just want to hard open this card, you want to search this with your Sun Avalon Dryas, as you have just seen. We have the Rikka Concon here, 1 Ragnaraika Bloom for the rebirth and for the search, obviously. Then we have 2 Called by 1 Crossout. We definitely want to get our entire combo through and not be interrupted. 3 Imperm, because Imperm is just insane. We have the Rikka Sheet, as you have just seen, and the Ragnaraika Hunting Dance. Target cards your opponent controls up to the number of different monster types among the link monsters you control that are insects, plants, or reptile. Destroy them. This will normally be 1, so you can activate this to destroy 1 card. As I already said, if you have, for example, this one in the hand already or the Bloom, then you can use your Ragnaraika the Evil Seed Search to search this and have another interruption. We have 1 Rikka Green Strenna. You always want to tribute this to get into Hyperiton. This is very nice. You can also basically let this be on the field when you pass over to your opponent, and then you could also tribute this for the cost of Rikka Sheet, and then on your opponent's turn you could summon a Hyperiton, also possible. We have the Hyperiton, triple Sun Avalon Dryas, 2 Sunvine Healer, 1 Sunvine Thresher, 2 Aromaseraphy Jasmine, 1 Dance Peon. Keep in mind this can also be like an extender if you have a bad hand and you need more stuff. If this card is linked summoned, you can choose a number from 1 to 3 and excavate that many cards from the top of your deck, and if you do, you can special summon up to 2 excavated plant monsters, but they cannot be used as link materials. So you can use this if you are in a very desperate situation to have this mill 3 effect basically. Otherwise, we have used this in the combo for the level modulation. 1 Skeletal Soldier, 1 Summon Avalon Malayas, the Bengal Lancer as you have seen, and you can play this Aroma, Lilith, Rosemary. You can use this. This will, by the way, I wanted to show you this, but I forgot, but this is the only card that is left in the extra deck after you have made your first turn. So on your second turn, you can make this with 2+ plant monsters, link 3, and it says you contribute 1 monster this card points to, then target 1 card on the field and you banish it, and you gain 1000 life points then. So this is kind of like a follow-up card, but I think this is definitely the card in the deck that you need the least. I have just pulled this from the pack, so I put it in here. This is everything for now. Let me know in the comments if you have any more questions. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing, hitting a thumbs up and the notification bell, and guys, we will see each other in the next one.